Welcome back to West Texas View.
We've been talking with Randy Ham, who is the Executive Director for the Odessa Council of Arts and Humanities. And we ended the last segment with him talking about the huge partnership. And we didn't even get to the outlying areas or even over into Midland, to the Midland area, because it just is an ever-widening circle of the people that are coming together and having a very great synergistic and coordinated opportunity to work together and build on the cultural, educational, and fine arts for this area, but also to reach out and educate people, the general public, which brings us to what I want you to talk about is public art.
Sure, that's one of the new things that we've started and is one of the things I'm most excited about. I don't know if you've been over to the campus of UTPB lately, but there on the corner of 42nd and JBS Parkway is a great bronze sculpture called The Stragglers, and it's a sculpture of a cattle drive that we helped fund and put right there on the corner so you can see it as you drive by. And that was really the catalyst for forming a public art committee for the city of Odessa, because if there's another thing that I hear too much of is that it's ugly around here, that it's just dust and tumbleweeds. And so we've started looking at ways to beautify the city. And we have a very, very committed group of individuals who are looking at ways to beautify the city. And so we've contracted a consultant to help us put a public art master plan together for the city of Odessa.
Well, and we're going to talk about the master plan probably not until next Sunday, but I want us to talk about in doing a public art program, because this is kind of new stuff to most people, but this is something that Texas Tech used to beautify their campus. And Betsy Triplett Hurd and several of those people were very instrumental in changing the face of Texas Tech with their public art. And in Abilene, they have a great public art program. I don't know if you've been over there, but all along the both sides of the railroad track that goes through the middle of town is great public art, including many, many sculptures about Dr. Seuss, because it's right in front of their children's library and museum. And then they've got all over town, they're just spreading out in an ever-expanding circle, their public arts. And it has created so much attention that people are coming from everywhere just to see the sculpture and the other pieces of art.
It helps make the city a destination. And that's one of the things we want to do. And we also want to kind of educate people on what public art means, because when most people think of public art, they think of statues and they think of murals, and that's great because
or they think of graffiti on the side,
or they think of graffiti. That's very true. And what I have learned in doing this is that there's so much more. There are temporary installations that you can do. You can take existing buildings and put light sculptures on them. You can do interactive art. One of our public art committee members is a big fan of interactive art with fountains and things like that, that really that you could even control with your smartphone to do the patterns of the fountain. So there's so much more to it than just murals, and that's what we're learning, and that's what we're taking out into the public, to start looking at what do you want to see in your community? What represents your community? Is it bronze sculpture? Is it the, on University and Parkway, I don't know if you've seen those red architectural features, but those are also part of the public art. There's some great murals downtown. What is it that our community wants to see to represent the community? And that's what we want to know.
And so many, our heritage coming from Europe is beautiful, beautiful cities that had, by sometimes the king's decree or sometimes the church's decree, but all these beautiful statues and beautiful fountains and beautiful architecture that just made the city so different. And then, of course, when you came to the Pioneer country of America, then they were just trying to live to get
Yeah.
by. And so
Yes.
we haven't developed that public art as much as our heritage would indicate. So that is just absolutely something that I am so proud of y'all for doing.
Oh, well, thank you. We're so excited to be doing it, and it's such a wonderful opportunity for me to learn personally. Last year I went to an arts conference in Nashville, and I got to tour what their art looks like, and it's so inspiring, and it makes you want to live there, and that's what we want. We want people to look at this area and say, yeah, I want to live here. There's a great symphony, but there's also beautiful things to look at. When I get in my car and I drive to work every morning, I get to see an architectural feature. I get to see bronze statues. I feel a sense of pride in my community.
But also you're bringing out, you're inspiring a lot of local artists and local sculptors and local talents that can be very creative in your endeavor. But the other thing that I see is other communities in our Permian Basin borrowing these ideas from you and putting them into their own communities.
Well, I hope so. I would love to see us as an example for all of West Texas. And so if someone from Fort Stockton, my hometown, came to Odessa and they saw a sculpture that they really liked, and they could contact us and say, who's the artist? And I would be happy to put them in touch, and maybe we'll see the same artist do work over in Fort Stockton. And one thing I don't think that I've mentioned is that that's an economic benefit to the area too. We're putting people to work, not just the artist,
right.
but if you're doing an installation, then you've got welders, perhaps you have just day laborers. All kinds of people have to come together. They have to be paid just like anybody else. So it's an economic factor in putting people to work, and it's a tourism factor in people driving here to see this stuff, spend the night at the hotel, eat at a restaurant.
And it's an educational factor and a quality of life factor for our own folks that live
Absolutely.
right here. Well, I know Artesia, New Mexico has changed the face of Artesia with their absolutely fabulous public art. We're going to have to close this program today, but as I promised, he's coming back next Sunday, and we're going to continue this because we need to talk about the master plan that is being formed right now, and we need your help on it. So we'll see you next Sunday with another program. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for joining us for News West 9's West Texas View with Johnny Lou Avery. This has been a public affairs presentation of KWAB TV and KWES TV.